In September, Eastern New Mexico University hosted its 54th annual College Daze Rodeo to kick off the 2019-2020 season. The three-day event had men's and women's teams from 17 schools across the region competing in 9 different categories. After the unveiling of the banner honoring the 1967 Women's National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association National Championship team, the Cannon Air Force Color Guard joined in to kick off the weekend. The first night was challenging because of the sloppy arena conditions, but the riders fought hard through the adversity and continued to compete throughout the evening, though some had a more difficult time than others. This year, ENMU celebrated the 50th year of the men's championship team along with the women's 1967 champions and both women's and men's 1968 championship teams. Some of the members from those teams returned to Portales, and with the help of the alumni department, were able to stroll down memory lane and reminisce about the days of old. For Jack Falk, who was on the 1968-69 team, it was a chance to reflect on his time at ENMU.
I came to ENMU in 1968 and was here in 68 and 69 as was part of the rodeo team. We had a very good team in those years. When I arrived, I was primarily a bull rider, but I worked the bareback riding too, the rough stock events, and the saddle bronc riding some, but I was not a good saddle bronc rider, so primarily the bareback riding and bull riding.
The members of those championship teams gathered for a luncheon in their honor to celebrate their achievements and catch up after all the years. Afterwards, they were given a tour through the campus to see what has changed over the past 50 years at ENMU.
The reunion itself is very enjoyable. And of course, you have to realize this is our 50-year reunion. We were all very young back then, and everything changes, and a lot of things might kind of take you by surprise and stuff, but really there's still the same unique individuals with the same personality, the same ideas, but we're only in a different setting. And if we could roll back the pages of time, we would probably do the same thing, except more.
On the third and final night of the rodeo, 2 members of the 1969 Men's Championship were honored and given commemorative plaques for their accomplishments. Also, ENMU rodeo coach Albert Flynn was awarded for his 10 years of service as the team's coach. Not only is Flynn the head coach of the rodeo team, he was also a member of a couple of championship rodeo teams while he was a student at ENMU.
Coach Flynn, very instrumental in the rodeo program here in Eastern, and actually he was a team member back in the day when I was on the team. And he really was taken in by the whole, college rodeo situation, and was a big part of getting it to where it is today. For a while he had left and worked in the banking business, and then instead of retiring, getting enjoying a life of leisure stuff, he came back and has really worked with his program here and with the individuals, and a lot of the credit and stuff is to be given to him and his effort that he has stepped forth and taken to do what he has done today.
Saturday evening was all about the students gaining the most points and winning their respective categories during the final rounds. During the bareback bronco riding, some had success,
and I told you we had the best coming tonight. The Cowboys putting on a show this evening in the bareback riding.
And for others, it was a reminder who was in charge.
flag down right here. Oh, he missed him out, didn't have her feet over the point of the shoulders. He left the chute right there, so unfortunately we're going to be no score for Mr. Mason Payne, no score. All right, next out we're going to go to Tarleton State University.
During the rest of the evening competitions, students put their best foot forward to gain the most points, and some of the highlights were from bull riding, cowgirl barrel racing,
So we actually go from 1827 was the longest time up to 1797 was the fastest time we'd seen so far before the short go.
goat tying, steer wrestling, and saddle bronc riding. After all the scores were tallied, the women's team from Sul Ross State University came in first place while ENMU women's team finished third. On the men's side, Tarleton State University grabbed the first place prize and ENMU men's team finished in the 10th place. For the members of the past championships teams, the current state of ENMU Rodeo is nothing short of appreciation and respect for carrying on the rich tradition.
The Eastern New Mexico Rodeo team these days is, I think, one of admiration. People know, of the program here and stuff. One thing to be considered is probably a lot tougher. There's more individuals, competing to be on the team itself. There's more schools that is in this region, and it's very competitive. And we were talking last night, some of the contestants here I saw last night were entered in the National Finals Rodeo, the biggest platform that there is, and here they are at a college rodeo at Portales, New Mexico. And we have saw the evolving of the sport, through things like that, and it's really come of age.